Guys, welcome to episode number 8 of the Derby Career Mode Live. And to start off this episode, we're currently 5th in the table, 19 points after 9 games. Of course, Rooney is the top goal scorer in the league as well. So in terms of scoring goals, it's a little bit ridiculous at the minute, actually. We have only got Rooney and Tom Lawrence in the top goal scorer, top 25. But in terms of assists, it's actually a little bit silly. We've got Rooney, Lawrence, Bird, Marriott, and I think one more, maybe. Maybe not, actually, but we probably have a player on 2 assists, but obviously because there are so many, that's why they're not on the list. But one thing I want to look at in this episode is keeping a clean sheet. I don't think we've kept a clean sheet in any game, even in a Carabao Cup game. We haven't been able to prevent goals from going in. Obviously Blackburn was the first game, and we've conceded 3 goals in the Blackburn game, 2 against Millwall, 3 against Gillingham. Or was that penalties? So yeah, I'm not too sure. I think it was 2-2 against Gillingham in the Cup. So 2 against Gillingham, 3 against Coventry. Not too bad against Middlesbrough and Birmingham, only conceding 1. 3 against Wednesday, 2 against Bristol City, 2 against Luton, 2 against Wickham, and 2 against Preston, and 3 against Spurs. So it's a consistent thing that we are just letting in too many goals. But then again, we are playing 3 at the back, and on the flip side, we're scoring like 5, maybe 6, maybe 4 goals a game. So it's one of those where obviously, because of the formation we do play, defensively we're slightly open, but going forwards, like that might be one thing, just to make it more difficult, just not to have essentially 5 up front. That might be one way of us basically making the game a little bit more challenging. So I did ask you guys to suggest me some players in terms of signings for the January transfer window, predominantly players that you can get on a pre-contract signing. So one suggestion was Jack Butland, and I actually quite like that because he's obviously not doing too well at Stoke at the minute, and if we can get him on a pre-contract, I think that makes a lot of sense. Only on 15k week wages, and still a very good goalkeeper. I rate Jack Butland. I think he's just in a really tough situation at the minute at Stoke City, where the fans just absolutely hate him in terms of the mistakes that he does make. But it's one, like, the psychological side of goalkeeping is probably more important than the actual ability of a goalkeeper. I think the psychological probably outweighs it. So yeah, Jack Butland at 27, still, chance to go a little bit, but wouldn't mind him as a goalkeeper, maybe even a backup goalkeeper if we are, of course, in the Premier League. Next up, we do have Radu from Inter Milan. I think he's a really good goalkeeper at 23 years old, and I think around 74, maybe 75 rated. So we'll have a look and see what the report comes back. Then we got Ivan Martinez from Osasuna. He is 5'11", which is a little bit like, I do like a goalkeeper that's at least 6'2". So 5'11" might be a bit of an issue, but I don't mind him as a backup goalkeeper. I reckon at 18 years old, would only cost us essentially just under 2 million, and might be even cheaper if we actually go for a bid instead of just the release clause. Then we got Christian Walton from Brighton Hove Albion. He does have an £8.4 million release clause, but he is expiring at the end of the season, so if we could get him on a pre-contract, I think that might happen in real life as well. Obviously they got Matty Ryan in goal, and I just don't see him being the first team goalkeeper at Brighton, and obviously he should be playing football, so I think a drop down to the Championship at the end of the season is quite realistic for Christian Walton. It might even happen, obviously, because the domestic transfer window is still open. Then we got Tom Heaton, a little bit of an older goalkeeper, but still very, very good. Probably would be around 78, I think he is. He might be 77, though, because obviously Emi Martinez is the first choice goalkeeper now. Tom Heaton will be just a backup at Villa, so I don't think he'll get too much game time. But I think a really good goalkeeper, of course, at 34. A year younger than Marshall, so still can do it really, really well. And yeah, I wouldn't mind him on a pre-contract signing either. Now, I've added Tomori, and he's expiring at the end of the season. Would it be realistic to get him on a pre-contract? Because that's what I've been kind of debating, and I think it's one of those where in real life you would just never do it, but for the sake of this career mode, it might be worth doing, because obviously he used to play for the club, and ridiculously good. He'd probably go to like 90 potential. It's whether, I don't know if he turns, because I think they have to be 23 to be able to get a player on a pre-contract signing. So it's whether he turns 23 by the end of the calendar year, or we might not be able to get him on a pre-contract, so we'll wait and see. Obviously, get the scout report back. And then we have Ferdi Kadioglu from Fenerbahce. I think that's how you say his name. It could be wrong, though. Not a bad shout, because he was linked to us, I think, last January. And would be quite a nice player to have, obviously 20 years old. And can play cam or out wide. So I think that's about it. Oh, yeah, we did have Antonio suggested as well. Again, it's a bit like the Tomori one. Like, realistically, would he come to Derby? Probably not. But I think in this career mode, it's the kind, like, if we get promoted, I think I'd like Antonio on a pre-contract. Obviously, really, really good player. Just being versatile, you know, can play anywhere in the front three. And really good traits as well. Speaking of traits, I just want to check, actually, if Dwayne Holmes has the giant throw-in trait. He does. He has long throw-in, not giant throw-in. I think they're two different traits, if I'm not mistaken, because I'm pretty sure Antonio had the giant throw-in. So let me quickly check that. Yeah, giant throw-in. So I'm guessing giant and, what was it, long throw-in? It's kind of weird how they have two different things for essentially the same job. Like, how far can you throw a ball? So yeah, he has long throw-in, but then there's giant throw-in. So I don't know. Maybe we'll get some Rory Delap football since we have got his son at the club. Just channel a bit of that. So yeah, I think in terms of the squad, like, I'm really, really glad that we didn't sign in January, to be honest, because as you can see, the number of players that are missing out on football, like Wisdom's not really played, Marriott's, you know, he's done bits in the cup and stuff like that. Holmes has barely played as well. Like, it's one of those where we just have so many players, and to get them all in the first team is super, super difficult. So let's go into our first game of the episode then against QPR, obviously the team that we did lose to like 7 years ago now. It's kind of crazy that we did lose to QPR in that playoff final, and yeah, it's just been an endless track. Obviously, Forsyth is the only player. Oh yeah, Wisdom as well. Wisdom was in that final. Obviously, he was on loan back then. Came to the club a few years back now. It's kind of crazy that Forsyth isn't Wisdom that isn't playing more games, to be honest. And I kind of might be tempted to put him in for George Evans, just to get that morale up. But it's one of those where, obviously, he's in a -3 at the minute because he's in both bad morale and bad sharpness. So maybe just putting him in might be a good idea. Obviously, George Evans has got really, really good morale at the minute. And we might need to change a couple of players in the starting 11 just to keep things nice and fresh. And I might just drop Goswiak for Jordan Ibe. One thing I didn't actually think about was the kits, which might be a bit of an issue, because obviously QPR do play in white and blue. But hopefully, yeah, that's fine. They're perfectly happily good. Obviously, QPR with the, I think it's Kian Prince Foundation. I think obviously was, I think he was an academy player that unfortunately died. So they did name the stadium after him. So that's pretty cool. Looking at their team, then they've got a 4-2-3-1. Kelly and goal. KK at right back. Never heard of him. Never heard of the left back either. Hammerlian. Again, another name that's really difficult to say, which is always great. Rob Dickey, obviously, from Oxford United. I wouldn't mind him at Derby, to be honest. I think they got him for a decent price. Barbet in centre-back as well. Tom Carroll, the former Derby man. Luke Amos, and then Bidder and Osei Samuel out wide. Chair at the cam position, then Dykes up front. Obviously, no Eze, because he's gone to Crystal Palace. And yeah, we put Wisdom in for this game. I'm also going to have a bit of a run with Whittaker out wide. And I might even be tempted to do that and drop Sibley altogether, because he's not been that great. But I don't mind him not performing at 100%. Like, we're still in the playoffs, we're still doing great, but obviously just the levels of Lawrence, Rooney, and Joswiak have been really, really good. And I must say, Bird is quality on this game. Like, really, really good at just winning the ball in that midfield position. Same with Jason Knight. And I'm just really enjoying using the squad. Bird with the ball, a bit of space to run into. Can he slip it into Sibley's path in the box? And he has shot it pretty much at the keeper. A bit of a shame he couldn't get it on it left peg, just to generate a bit more power. As you can see, took it with the right. Maybe if I took the touch, it probably would have been a goal. But we have got a corner here to whip into the box. Matt Clark is there with a header, but just wide of the post. As you can see, we've got 31 goals in 9 games. Which is a little bit ridiculous, but as I said, maybe changing to a more defensive formation will both stop us preventing as many goals and stop us scoring as many goals. But I guess for you guys it's more interesting if there are like 6 or 7 goals a game. Chance to slip Sibley in, hopefully can get around the defence. He has got a little bit of pace. Fortunately I can't get into his left foot, and it might be a case of just getting Sibley's weak foot up, because I get him into so many situations, but because he is so predominantly left-footed on the game, it's kind of difficult to get him the goal at times. Really with the ball here. Chance to get it into Tom Lawrence. He does indeed. With the shot now into the back of the net, Tom Lawrence with a lovely little goal. And as always in these career mode saves, like, Lawrence is a wonderful player on the game, because he has 5-star skills now, but normally has 4-star skills and 4-star weak foot, and obviously just really good shooting and passing, and you know, he's got a bit of everything to him. And yeah, fires that into the back of the net to get his 5th goal of the season, I think that is. And I do actually like this away kit. Obviously the third pink kit is really, really nice as well, and potentially I might be able to add that because I am on PC. With some mods I might be able to get the third kit. I don't know if it will mean replacing the away kit, but maybe if I can do that alternately, then that'll be nice just to get it into the game. Overlap a vibe here. Hopefully we can maybe get a second goal before the end of the half. It whips it into the box, and it's... Oof. I've done a couple of those in Ultimate Team, and the amount of times the defender... I've scored at least one own goal. I've not... Well, the opponent scored the own goal, because basically when you do fire it across the face of goal, the defender just literally can't do anything. As off time against QPR then, it would be really, really nice to get the clean sheet, of course, because we haven't managed to do it yet. Slight fitness issue, because obviously we only just recently played the Spurs game midweek, but I do like the balancing of the new fitness system, and you know, trying to keep everyone fit. Simply with the interception, slips it into Morgan Whittaker, who's in the box now, tries to go around the keeper, does take the shot, but is blocked by the defender. Oh, sugar. Please tell me that's not a red. This might be a red. He has got that aggressive side to him simply, but just got away with it there. I don't know how that's not a red. He's gone through the back of him. Simply on the ball here, into Rooney. Oh, interception by Lawrence. Does the nice bit of skill to go around the man. Now with the shot, blocked by the defender. Oh, great tackle from Sibley to intercept it. Chance to get Tom Lawrence through here now. Hopefully can get clean through on goal and get the finish to make it 2-0. There we go, makes it 2-0 in the 75th minute. 15 minutes to go, we might actually have our first clean sheet of the season. Tom Lawrence with obviously the 2 goals to get us into this position. And again, it's just character. I don't mind it when it's kind of like that. But as long, maybe if that happens like twice a game, but before when we had the sliders much lower, like Mario was just running through literally every single time. With the ball here, looking for somebody in the middle. Jason Knight with the run, but just over the crossbar. I think it would have been easier to score than miss that, but somehow has done it. Chance here on QPR on the edge. Dykes with the ball, chips it through. It's the clean sheet. It's the clean sheet that's gone there with ball. I think that is, or Hall. Not sure who it is. I saw all, but is it Ball or Hall? It's Ball. I'm sure they've got a Hall there at QPR as well. Grant Hall, isn't it? Or did he go Middlesbrough? He might have left, actually. Yeah, it's really annoying that we couldn't keep that clean sheet. Yeah, now that we've got the sliders in a good position, these scorelines are a lot more realistic, and that's what I quite enjoy. So it's been quite a challenge. Obviously, haven't had too many chances, but when we have been clinical. Chance here for QPR on the last minute. Definitely don't want to throw away the 3 points at this point, but it would be very Derby County to do it, and it is with the shot and with the goal. QPR on the last minute. Oh, this game, man. It's these last 10 minutes now, because I think the computer's clever in one way, but in the other it's just really, really dumb. But yeah, they've nicked a point in the last minute. QPR have to, I don't know what I could have really done. Like, I did the right thing. And maybe could have played the offside trap, but it is George Thomas, I think the former Leicester man, to get the goal to equalise in the final minute, and I don't think we're going to get another chance to go on the attack. Maybe literally one attack here. Florence can... No, he can't go past everyone. There we go, there's full time against QPR. We thought we had the clean sheet, but that got taken away in like the 84th minute. And then I thought we had at least 3 points, but no, George Thomas in the last minute to make it 2-2. And as you can see, they only had 3 shots on goal and scored 2. Next game is then against Barnsley, who are currently 23rd in the table. Obviously, it is the final game of the month, and then we go into the month of October, play against Reading, and then we got a really difficult run of Nottingham Forest, Brentford and Watford, who are probably all in the top 6. Maybe not Brentford actually. Watford are 4th, Forest are top, and Brentford are 9th, but obviously only 2 points off us now. As you can see, for example, if we lose the next game, we could potentially go all the way down to 9th. So I do like this. I like the pressure of the Championship, and that, you know, just makes it realistic. Like in real life, you just wouldn't walk through these kinds of games. So yeah, let's go into the team management. I might be tempted to play Evans for this game because I think he brings something. Unfortunately, Curtis Davis has gone to a 69 rated player, which is kind of frustrating, but at the same time, you know, if the player's old, he'll go down in ratings. I think we are going to have to rest Lawrence for this game, so I think we'll put Marriott in, put Rooney at cam, and also probably going to have to drop maybe Whittaker. 33. Oh, I thought for 1 second there, I thought it was Wayne Rooney scoring 33 goals, but it's the club in general. And we are here for this late kick-off here against Barnsley. Interesting to see what kind of team they've got there. And they are playing a 4 at the back, although I think the suggested lineup was a 5 at the back, but I could be wrong. But yeah, they've got Walton in goal, Williams at fullback, then Hellick and Solberg at centre-back, Alex Mowat, Ritzmaier, who I think has actually moved in real life. I did see that transfer. Bayer and Corley Woodrow at cam, Connor Chaplin up top, and Ward as well. We've had to make a few changes due to fitness. No Tom Lawrence, Evans coming into defence for Wisdom, Byrne on the right, Goswiak on the left, and Liam Delap up front. Barnsley on the attack here. Nice passing football, but it's very difficult to win the ball off him. Yeah, we have eventually done it. Chance here for Delap, chips it over the top for Rooney. Got to take it first time volley. It's just wide of the post. Maybe Rooney of previous years would have scored that. It was pretty prime for him, and it just curled away at the last second. Chance in the box with Chaplin, but Clark throws himself into it. But Evans has given it away. Nice save from Marshall. Going with the ball here, bringing it forwards. Has got the pace just to drive it into this Barnsley defence. Going to cut inside just to open things up a little bit. Now into Liam Delap, not Rory Delap, and Istre the keeper. Barnsley on the attack here. Connor Chaplin gets it around Bielik. Now with the shot, but blocked by Clark. Goes past again with the shot now, and it is into the back of the net to make it 1-0 to Barnsley. Really unfortunate goal, and kind of against the run of play. We were in a couple of decent chances to score, but yeah, blocked by Clark, and then it just luckily bounces back to him for the second bite, and we do make it 1-0 in the 55th minute, which is it's going to be interesting to see how they play now, because as I said before, when teams go into a 1-0 lead, they play way differently than when I go into a 1-0 lead. Chance to get Byrne into play here on the right mid position. Hopefully can whip a good ball into the middle. Rooney there. It's just a bit of a weak shot into the keeper. Right into Jack Marriott for his first touch of the game. Now back into him. Hopefully can get a goal, and it does go off the keeper and into the back of the net to make it 1-1. Essentially a second touch of the game there, Jack Marriott, to make it equalised, and that is what he's for. It's just brilliant to come off the bench and get a goal when you need it, and does get us back into the game quite quickly. Barnsley on the attack here, 13 minutes to go. I've just fouled the man there quite badly, but they still have the ball. Goes around the man with the shot now. It's straight through Marshall, and they do make it 2-1 there in the 78th minute with Platt and was it Platty? I'm not too sure. But as you can see here, we just, I don't know, it's just super difficult to defend, but it is slightly more difficult going forwards now. As you can see, we've only scored 1 goal in this game. See, it's ridiculous how well the AI keep the ball now when they are winning the game compared to when they're losing the game. They might even make it 3-1 here, and they do in the final minute of the game to make it 3-1 and to lose a home game. And yeah, as I said, just the way they keep the ball is actually ridiculous when they're winning the game, but most of the time it's obviously me scoring first, and that's where we get into the lead. But it's just super... I don't know, maybe I've made it slightly too difficult, but it's one of those where I don't mind losing games, but maybe not losing constantly. There we go, full time against Barnsley, a 3-1 loss, and yeah, it was a bit of a weaker team in fairness. We had to make a few changes due to fitness. Yeah, a little bit of a shame we couldn't get at least a point from the game because of their keeper being so good. Monthly scout report here then from Ivory Coast. We will be, as always, just rejecting players that just don't have a great potential, and that just seems like all of these players actually. This one's decent. There's literally one out of 5. And we do have a youth development update. Obviously we did sign 2 players from the academy assigned to the defender position. Within 2 seasons signed 2 youth players to the senior team and play them in 10 games. We might do that next season. And yeah, this brand exposure one's kind of doable. The away wins is actually going to be quite an interesting one. Getting 5 away wins in a row now that we have made it so difficult, and we have dropped down to 6th in the table. So a win against Reading would be quite good. I don't know why my backup goalkeeper keeps saying, "Oh, can I play?" But we have got the report here for Jack Butland. As I said, he is expiring in his contract, and he is currently 73 rated. I think he'd be a good goalkeeper to have at the club, and we'll have a look in January if we can make that happen. In terms of internationals, Dwayne Holmes still getting called up for USA. Craig Fulsworth, who hasn't played at all, I don't think, has been called up for Scotland. Tom Lawrence to Wales, and Gwozdrak and Bielik to Poland, of course. It's interesting to see that like Knight hasn't been called up for the Republic of Ireland, or even Marshall at Scotland. It's quite interesting that he's not been called up. But I guess it's just one of those things. As you can see, the lap has gone to a 63 now, so it's good to see that he's been developing. And we are going to go into the next game now against Reading with a bit of an issue in terms of fitness, and we might need to have to look to play our second team because of all the fitness concerns. Here we are then for the final game of the episode against Reading. Did win against us 2-0, of course, in real life. We've had to make a number of changes actually to this team. Marriott, Duncan, Ibe, Shinnie, Buchanan, Tuerick, and I think that's about it coming into the lineup. Yeah, it's just a bit of a crazy one really with the fitness, obviously with all the championship fixtures. Could have probably started Sibley instead of Duncan, but I thought I'd just give him a run out since Sibley's struggling a little bit, but it's not too much of a concern. But as you can see from the Reading team, they are playing a 4-2-3-1. Raphael in goal, Liam Moore and Morrison, Richards at left back, Araruna at right back, John Swift, and Rimahota. Ajari is right. I was about to say no Ajari because he's obviously normally down the middle, but he's on the left hand side. Miete on the right, Aluko up front. No Luka Zhao though. That's the one that I'm kind of happy that we're not playing against, because he did cause absolute carnage against us in real life. Heading on the attack here with Miete. Buchanan's not quite kept up with him. He has trapped back now, pulled it back. Sonny Aluko, but Tueric's won it, but they've won it back quickly. Luko again slips it in, but Buchanan's there and is fouled. Chance here for Duncan into Jack Marriott with the shot and into the back of the net. We do make it 1-0 in the 7th minute, and yeah, I think at times we do struggle a little bit with Rooney up front, but it's then where do we play him if Jack Marriott does start? It's a really difficult conundrum that we do have with the size of the squad. But it was a nice assist from Bobby Duncan, and Jack Marriott on his weak foot makes it 1-0. Well, that's what happens when you play on ultimate difficulty. They score out of nothing, and it's one of those where, like, I don't know. As you can see, like, Tuerick just kind of lets him run at the defence, and then it's just an easy shot. Obviously, his left foot, I think, Sonny Aluko, and does make it 1-1. Jari on the edge here, but Tuerick wins it. Now to Jason Knight. Marrick's making the run. Liam Moore's obviously quite pacey, but not quite pacey enough to keep up with Marriott, and he does find the back of the net on the stroke of half time to make it 2-1. And as I said, Marriott's like, I think one way of making it more difficult is basically not playing Jack Marriott, because every time he does play he scores goals because he's just got that bit of pace and a bit of quality up front. Also, Delap doing quite well as well at 63 rated, but obviously Marrick's just that little bit better, and yeah, it just makes goal scoring quite easy. So if we did want to make it difficult, just whack like a Chris Martin up front, and you know, we just don't get him behind as much. Lucas Yao coming on for the goal scorer, Sonia Luca, and I don't know why they've done it a few times on this career mode so far. Like players that have scored 1 or 2 goals getting subbed off, which is a little bit odd. And I guess that's just the mechanics of the game. Corner, I don't know why the game favours outswingers, because I much prefer an in-swinging corner, and that's why you put an in-swinger on, guys, and that is Jack Marrick to get his hat-trick in the 53rd minute of the match. And I just don't know why the game presets outswing it. Maybe that's just a way just to stop. I don't know. I very rarely score outswinging free corners, but in swingers I can get them scoring at least like 1 in 5. And yeah, Marrick with another great header. I think he scored a great header against. Can't remember who. Maybe it was Gillingham, but yeah, it was a great header in that game. It's his 7th goal of the season for a player that hasn't exactly played that many games. Swift on the ball here. Obviously, against QPR we did concede 2 goals late on, so we definitely don't want to do that again and drop the points as we did. So I've gone for more slightly defensive-minded substitutions with Forsyth, Evans, and Holmes coming on at right mid. Forsyth to bring it forwards. Hasn't played too much Forsyth, but it's a bit of a love-hate relationship with Forsyth. He's been a good servant for the club, but obviously it has been frustrating at times. Chance here to get Whittaker in. Can he just put it across the face for Jordan Ibe to backheel it into the back of the net and make it 4-1, and to hopefully wrap up the game at this point. I don't see Redden scoring 3 goals in 15 minutes, but you never know ultimate difficulty. So yeah, it's good to see Ibe on the score sheet as well. Nice bit of play from Morgan Whittaker to get the assist, and a cheeky backheel. Well, out here to Whittaker, who's been quite decent this game. Chance to get him a late goal with a nice shot and into the back of the net to make it 5-1 in the dying moments of the game. It's been really good from Whittaker. I really do actually like him on the game. He's got a nice agility and balance just to run past players. He's pacey, but not rapid like Josriak or Byrne is. But yeah, it was a nice little finish in the end just to finesse it around the keeper. There we go, full time against Reading. It is a 5-1 victory. Jack Marrick with a wonderful performance to get a hat-trick, and Morgan Whittaker and Jordan Ibe with the other 2 goals. Yeah, Whittaker did really well this game, and Bobby Duncan actually, just to play off the striker, of course. It was a much improved performance from the previous game against, who did we just play? Barnsley. But Barnsley were playing a narrow formation, so I think when we do, like, if we just come up against like the 4-2-3-1s, we find that rather easy, and it's when we play against more unique formations that we struggle. Ooh, bit of a interesting deal here from Ajax. It is including a player for Andre Wisdom, and the player is Lassina Traore, a 19-year-old striker with 2.6 million. Let me just have a quick look and see what he actually looks like on the game, because actually, you know, these kind of swap deals make it interesting for the game, of course. Hopefully you can find him. There he is. So he's 68 rated, 75 pace, well 76 pace in fairness, 84 strength and 85 jumping. At 6 foot tall. He does look good, you know, and I think I'll leave it here for now, because obviously this is where we're going to wrap up the episode, so the game won't advance anything. I want to know from you guys, should I make this signing happen or not? I might be tempted to make a little bit more money in terms of the transfer, although it's about the right amount. Let me just have a quick look what it was actually. Let me just read all this as well. All personal terms can be negotiated as part of the pre-contract agreement as soon as the window opens. Cool. So we can do all the transfers now. So he's worth 4, and they're offering 3 essentially. So maybe if I can get that money up to 500,000 or 600,000, then it's probably a fair deal, because that Lassina Traore guy is probably worth about 4 or 5 million anyway. So yeah, let me know if this deal looks interesting. Obviously, Wisdom isn't likely to be signing a new contract because of the current morale and kind of falling out of the club situation. If I quickly look and see if we can offer him a new contract, it might be an option actually. No, it isn't. So he has submitted although his morale is good, he's still got those transfer requests in there. So I think we're just going to probably look to either sell or accept this Traore deal. So I think in terms of this Lassina Traore deal, if we did bring him into the club, I think Hector Ingham's pretty much gone now, same as Waghorn. We've very little played with him. But it kind of blocks the path of Duncan and Delap and obviously Marriott if we do bring him in. That's the only issue. And I probably wouldn't sign Chris Martin, although I might do it anyway just because it's a bit of fun. And it's Chris Martin, you know, you've got to sign him. Derby legend. So, yeah, I think in terms of this received offer for Wisdom, I think, well, let me know in the comment section down below what do you think I should do. But I think since Wisdom is pretty adamant that he wants to go, he's not going to be looking to sign a new contract, we may as well either get the money or get this swap deal done. So yeah, hopefully guys did enjoy this episode. Be sure to leave a like rating if you did enjoy it, and see you soon. Bye.